Hey guys, so carrying on with the world's worst children today, and we're reading Nigel Nit Boy. So what's just happened is that he's used his knits as a superpower, and he's got his auntie to make him a costume, and now he's got Nigel Nit Boy on his costume, and he's ready to take on the world. So he goes into his geography class and lets all his knits swarm the classroom. So let's see what happens. The nits swarmed the geography teacher, nipping him all over with tiny claws. "Ah!" screamed Mr. Dunham as he raced out of the classroom. All his pupils pressed their faces up against the window to see what was happening. The man was trying desperately to fend off the nits. He was hopping and spinning and slapping himself as he sped across the playing field towards the school pond. Mr. Dunham then leaped in with a giant splosh. He finally had some relief from the nips. Though now he was submerged in green water with a fat frog sitting on his head. Nit Boy smiled to himself. This was going to be fun. Next he marched across to the playground to the dining hall. The little lady, Mrs. Droop, was something of a dragon. Boiled broccoli was her signature dish. "Whatever you choose, even jam, roly-poly and custard." Mrs. Droop would spoon heaps of green, watery mush on top. Then she would stalk up and down the dining table, swirling her ladle like a baton, threatening to rap the knuckles of anyone who didn't eat the last mouthful. Nigel hated broccoli. If Superman feared kryptonite, Nit Boy was terrified of broccoli. Now, he was to have his revenge on the woman who had made him eat a mountain of it. "Nigel," she purred as she strolled in, "why have you got your pants on over your trousers?" "Ha ha ha ha!" Mrs. Droop's smile was wiped off her face as soon as Nit Boy shouted out his commands. "Nits to the broccoli!" "I'm not having you blasted head lice messing with my delicious broccoli," protested the dinner lady. Too late. The nits had swarmed into a whirling tornado. Mrs. Droop stood open-mouthed in shock as this twisting vortex spun over her precious trays of broccoli. Then the tornado started firing the damp, limp vegetables straight at Mrs. Droop. Splat! 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 Soggy florets after soggy florets splattered across the woman's face until Mrs. Droop was damp green vegetable mess. Now Nit Boy was ready to have his revenge on the headmaster. The elderly Mr. Sourchops had suspended Nigel from school after his detention for reading comic books in lessons. The headmaster was a small and timid man, so Nit Boy thought he would frighten him. Nigel stood in the playground just below the window in his headmaster's office. He closed his eyes and concentrated. "Nits, shapeshift," he ordered. Slowly, the tiny insects swarmed together into a shape of a giant supernet. They were able to read their master's mind. As the boy kept his eyes tightly shut, a look of intense concentration on his face, the giant nit surged upwards to the headmaster's window. It banged on the glass with a huge clunk, clunk. Mr. Sourchops swiveled round his chair and shrieked, "No!" The giant nit bashed into his great head against the window, breaking the glass. "Crack! Help!" screamed the headmaster as he dashed out of his office. Running into the playground, Mr. Sourchops spotted a wheelie bin. Checking behind himself all the time for the giant supernet, the little old man pushed the bin as hard as he could before leaping into it as it was speeding away. Finally, Nit Boy opened his eyes and watched in glee as his headmaster trundled across the playground in the bin. It bashed into a low wall, clang, sending the little old man flying straight through the air into a tree trunk. Clunk! The nits swarmed back to their master's head as Nigel strode out of the school gates. There was plenty more supervillainy to be done. So what's the next villainary tasks? Well, find out tomorrow. Yeah, do watch tomorrow's because I'm so excited to find out what happens. I think that I will maybe be able to finish it. To be honest with you, it is... No, I can finish it tomorrow. It's so exciting. And then we can go on to the next chapter. Anyway, bye guys.